What's up, guys? This is the Vinyl Casket, home to the lamest taste. My name is Nick, and we have a special video for you today. First off, you can check out my YouTube channel at the Vinyl Casket, all one word, where you can subscribe, like, and comment, hit the bell for much more. We do weekly comic book reviews, trailer reactions, TV and movie reviews, and starting to gear up and change things a little bit. We're gonna be doing a book review. I've been getting really back into just reading. If you don't know, obviously I read a lot of comic books, but I've been deciding to slowly cut back. There was a wave about last year, beginning of this year, where I read a lot of manga, and I started to want to cut back on comics, but then I got hung up. Wasn't able to keep up with them. I got very behind on a lot of series. I sold off more than half my collection of manga. But then I had books laying around and I wanted to read. I really wanted to read. I didn't, I only got the comic books once a week. So on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, I had nothing to read. On the train when I go to work, I work in the city. So I started reading actual novels again. And it took me a while to finish one that I was really excited about and I can't wait to talk about, but it's kind of had me think of changing gears a little bit, not just being a comic channel, but being, or at least my Instagram, not just being comics, but also being books. So Vinyl Casket Comics on Instagram, you can follow it. There's tons and tons of little short write-ups of books as they come out, as well as I will start getting active on TikTok. I believe it's just the Vinyl Casket right now, or just Vinyl Casket. But I'm thinking of figuring out how to use TikTok and doing my record collection, which is Vinyl Casket on Instagram, and my comics and books. So we'll see what happens with that. But with that being said, we're gonna get into the review, and that is the first book in a trilogy. I think there's about to be a fourth book, so it won't be a trilogy anymore. But the first book in the second trilogy of Holly Black. So this is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. There is two other books currently released that are main sequels to this. So you have The Wicked King, which I am currently reading, and The Queen of Nothing, which is the last book. But The Stolen Heir is about to come out, and that is following the brother of the main character, Jude, of this book. Well, I guess he's not. I didn't mean to click that. I guess he's not really the brother because, he was raised her brother, and he's like a child in this book, but we'll get into that in the spoilers. Also have the King of Elfheim, which is one of the main characters, Cardan, in the series. This is this is an illustrated book of his point of view of the first book, I believe. So this is his point of view. Really cool. I will probably do a individual review. Why is there no illustrations? I'll probably do my own review of this, like an in-depth review, once I finish, get into this and read it fully. But this is an illustrated book. Looks really cool. I'm really excited to check that out. As well as she has The Book of Night, which is a different series all of its own, but it's I think this is the latest Holly Black book to be released. Backstory on Holly Black and my appreciation of her. In high school, if you don't know, I'm 28. So over 10 years ago, I found a book, right? Summer reading. I was at a bookstore, found a book. The book was called Ironside. Was it Ironside or Tith? I can't remember which one's the first one. So it's either Tith or Ironside. I found that book. I read that book by Holly Black. It was part of a trilogy called the Modern Fairy Tale Trilogy. This trilogy is called Folk of the Air. Um, and I am. Does it say it on here? It should say it somewhere. It does not say it. Okay, but so I read either one of those books, but it was Tith, Valiant. I know is the second book, and then Ironside. So I always get Ironside and Tith confused on which one is the first one and which one is the last one. I read that book, then I read the next book, then I read and I being that read graphic novels because words didn't too many words. I forced through those, and I loved them, and I always loved them, and I never really found anything that hit that spot of entertainment. So then a couple years ago, I'm at a bookstore that's now closed, and I see this, and I see Holly Black, and I go, what? And I grab it, and I read it, and I loved it. Not only that, but it turns out, spoiler, I know I wrote spoilers on here, this ties into those other three books. They're all set in the same universe, and while the first trilogy she did is set in like the Unseelie court, the court of termites, and is half in like modern Earth realm and half in this fairy universe. This book is all in Elfheim, which is like the main land of like 3 or 4 islands of the fairy realm. So fairy, you would think fairy with wings. Fairy in this sense refers to like elves, dwarves, all sorts of different creatures of all different names that, when you're reading, it's like, what is this? But as they're used more and more, you kind of realize what is what and what is what. But really cool world building as a book, separating from everything else. This is the first book in this trilogy. It gives you a really, really great sense of direction and world building, character development, and then a little bit more than halfway through the book, things just get so crazy so quickly and shift in a way that I'm so excited for the rest of this. So this is Elfheim. We're mostly on Innsmouth. Yes. So, all right. I keep saying that. I'm sorry. I will get better at reviewing books. Amazing book. Really good character development. Really good world building. Plot itself. So, you get some flashback. You start at one point when these kids were children, and witness their parents murdered. So, these twin sisters, Tarn and June, along with their half sister, which obviously they don't know it's their half sister, witness their parents get murdered by their mother's ex-husband, who is Maddock, who is this general of the Fairy High King's army. He had taken their mother out of captivity and married her and had their oldest daughter with together, and she's half human, half fairy, so she can do magic and stuff, but these kids don't know. So this human blacksmith that had earned his way into the fairy and was making swords for everyone had stolen her away and married her and had these twins. Finally Maddock was able to track them down and kills them in retaliation. But having this weird sense of honor code, he also takes the children along with his daughter back to fairy and raises them. Eventually remarries and has a boy, Oak. Turns out, because of this story, spoiler, to not even be his and be royalty, being one of the princes, one of the many princes out of wedlock child that was everyone thought was dead, but he wasn't, because the mother of that child was killed, whose best friend is the new wife of Maddock, and she kind of covered it up and made it seem like it was hers. Very confusing, but like it's explained super well throughout as times developed. So we followed Jade. I believe they're like 16, 17, maybe even 18 at this point, and they follow her as like she loves sword fighting and she's very talented because she's a woman and because she's human. She's kind of looked down on, and all these people look down on humans because fairy folk can't lie and humans can. And they also can't use magic and stuff like that, and they can be compelled and controlled, and certain fairy food is poisonous to them. It's very like a well thought out universe, and I feel like I had an advantage being that I've already read stuff in this vein of hers with her like set of like universal constants. It made sense to me, so it might not make sense, so maybe read the first trilogy first. But I know a lot of people love this book and it's very popular, and I thought might as well review it. But yeah, we followed Jade as her progression through basically fighting for herself, wanting to be better, wanting to be respected, wanting to be a knight, and then ending up being Prince, is his name Dane? Prince Dane's spy in his court of shadows, which was really cool to see, especially how that played out when, as he's about to become High King and she's about to get everything that she wanted, supporting him and being one of his spies, the entire family, except for Carden, who's the youngest brother, and also her school bully, along with all his other friends, are all slaughtered. And drunk Carden is spared because he's wandering somewhere, and her and the other spies are able to find him, bring him back, and have him basically be captive, and now have a power play against the oldest brother, who could not take the crown because someone of his bloodline has to crown him. And because he killed everyone, there's no one left to crown him, and the other courts that are there for this big coronation in honor of their brother who's now dead won't respect it. And that's how we see some of the characters from the original modern fairy tale series, being that Robic, I always forget how to say his name. It's hard because these aren't normal names, but he is like the leader of the court of termites, so he's there with Kay, who is his girlfriend, which is really cool. I really like her as a character in the original series, so it's cool to see them again. And you see this whole build, how now discovering and like learning how to be a spy and learning how to fight has allowed Jude to basically get all these skills together and detective work done, that she can make this big power play. She has Carden. She knows that Oak is related to him, so Oak can crown someone and they can crown Oak. But Carden doesn't want power, so she tricks Carden thinking that he is going to crown Oak against his brother, put his brother in jail, overthrow Maddox from having his power play, and then send Oak to the human world with their older sister to live with their older sister's girlfriend in the human world, and he can have a normal childhood and come back. So Carden would rule Elfheim until he's of age to do it responsibly. So that was a really cool plot point, and really cool to see that like in its works unravel in front of you. And then you see the big switch at the end where Jude realizes that that's not going to work and has Oak crown Carden and forces Carden into being High King, but has his whole year and like 1 day commitment where he has to do everything Jude says through like the magic fairy bonds. So it's really cool how like they have this weird relationship where like they hate each other and they kind of have like this romantic tension, but like they won't let it show. But they have to work together, and basically he's like, okay, you tricked me, like I have to do this, but like you're basically running all of Elfheim and I'm just the face. And that flows into the next book. I might have definitely left out a lot because there's a lot of side plots and stuff, like how there's like side plots and stuff, like how the guy that Jude is originally kind of set up to have a romantic relationship with, one of the friends in this group of bullies turns out to actually be dating and having like a full-on relationship with her twin sister, and forcing her twin sister not to say anything in order to earn his respect so that he can trust them or whatever. And it was so weird to see that flip because that's Oak's half brother as well. So there's a lot of connections and a lot of side plots. It's a really well written book. It has a backup little short story of the two characters from Tith and Ironside in it, called A Visit to Impossible Lands. Not including the prologue. I want a page count. I believe it is, yes. So not including the epilogue, we got 365 pages. Epic read. Out of 5, I would give it a 4.5. I think it's pretty amazing. I really like it. I'm very much enjoying The Wicked King, and I can't wait for The Queen of Nothing and The Stolen Heir to be coming out, I believe January. I am set to probably be going to a book signing in the city for that, so that will be really cool. Once again, guys, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about book reviews. Do you like them? Any tips, tricks that you want? Any tips for the content I'm about to put out on TikTok? Look forward to that coming this week with my comic book pickup. And yeah, check out my YouTube at The Vinyl Casket, all one word, where you can subscribe, like, and comment, hit the bell, drop some knowledge in the comments for me. I really appreciate it. And do me another favor, and please, please, please stay lame.